Oh, I do want to talk about this story because you may have seen this one in the news that Southwest Airlines got in the news this week because there was a lawsuit that I wasn't really paying attention to. But basically, a flight attendant, her name is Charlene Carter, she had gotten fired by Southwest Airlines for apparently posting anti-abortion messages online. And she said, "You're violating my free speech rights," and all that stuff. And they said, "But you were doing it as a Southwest employee." And it actually gets deeper than that, because she wasn't like sending up or posting some wacky anti-abortion message or something. She was getting into fights with like a union boss and saying really awful stuff while wearing like her Southwest uniform. And you could see that in pictures. Anyway, I'm not saying it's possible that the outcome, which is that a jury found Southwest was in the wrong and they said this woman needs to get her job back and Southwest needs to pay a penalty. Maybe that's the wrong decision, but that's not what I want to talk about. Basically, what that jury said at the time was that, yes, this woman needs to get her job back, and Southwest has to stop discriminating against employees on the basis of religion, which I would argue they weren't really doing. But here's the important one. They said the company has to, quote, notify its flight attendants of Title VII's prohibition on religious discrimination. Basically, Southwest had to tell its flight attendants, we would never discriminate you on the basis of religion. So what happened next? That's what this is all about. Southwest sent an email to the staff, and it basically said, they said Southwest does not discriminate on the basis of religion. Does not. Like present tense, we don't do it. But the jury had said, you have to tell everyone, you may not discriminate, not now and not in the future. And there was a big controversy over whether Southwest lawyers actually did the thing the court told them they had to do. So it's a whole argument over does not discriminate versus may not discriminate. And basically, this week, a federal judge said, Southwest, you didn't do what I told you to do. You didn't do what the court told you to do. So I'm going to punish you for it. And this is where it gets wacky. I'm going to show you, this is the ruling that came out. It's from a Trump-appointed judge here. Here we go. And this is, let's see if I could pull this part. This is, his name is Brantley Starr. He's a Trump-appointed judge, a federal judge. And here's one bit of what he wrote. He said that by distorting what I told you to do, it's hard to see how Southwest could have violated the notice requirement more. Take these modified historical and movie anecdotes. This is not the point, it's a tangent, but I still want to talk about this. He says, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of other people who may have done the thing I'm accusing you of doing, and now you'll understand why I'm mad at you. And he says, I'm going to give you a historical anecdote and a movie anecdote. What's the historical anecdote? After God told Adam, you must not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, imagine Adam telling God, I do not eat from that tree in the middle of the garden while an apple core rests at his feet. Pause there for a second. That's the historical anecdote that this judge gave. It's about God and Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden. Like, that's pure fiction, but this guy says it's historical, and that is messed up. And then he says, let's talk about a movie anecdote. In The Lord of the Rings, or where Gandalf bellows, you shall not pass, the Balrog muses, I do not pass, while strolling past Gandalf, blah, blah, blah. First of all, that's your movie anecdote? It's a book. It's a literature anecdote if you want to. Okay, not even the point. But basically, the judge is very mad at how Southwest interpreted his rule, whatever they were supposed to do. But here's where it gets really effed up. The judge said Southwest lawyers, the three people who are working for Southwest, they have to undergo religious freedom training because they don't know about religious freedom, do they? Because they made that grammatical mistake. And then the judge said, who should teach you about religious freedom? Oh, I know. And then if you scroll down here, after he gets over the grammar. Check this out. The Alliance Defending Freedom has conducted such training in the past, and the court deems that appropriate here. The Alliance Defending Freedom is a Christian hate group. It's an anti-LGBTQ hate group. And this judge is saying, well, you lawyers for Southwest need to learn about religious freedom. Who can teach you that? Oh, I know. It's these people. Like, of all the people you could have gotten to teach this, this is as bad as Dawkins saying, I need to learn about trans people. Who can I talk to? Helen Joyce. Doesn't make any sense. There are actual experts out there, and you chose to go to the bottom of the barrel. And so Starr says all you have to do is pay for one of their employees to fly out to Dallas, where your headquarters are, so it doesn't cost you that much. And then they will spend 8 hours teaching you about religious freedom. Like, none of this makes any sense. Just to give you some background, if you're not familiar with Alliance Defending Freedom, they were the ones who defended the Christian website designer who just won a case at the Supreme Court. She said, I don't want to make a website for a gay wedding, even though no gay couple was actually asking her to make a website for that. ADF doesn't do any training like this. They don't advertise it in any case. By the way, this group is one that has argued sodomy should be illegal. They claim LGBTQ people support pedophiles or pedophilia. They defended forced sterilization of trans people in Europe. Like, that's who Alliance Defending Freedom is. And this guy thinks, oh yeah, they're the best options available to teach you about religious freedom. It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of infuriating. And I don't know what the response is. Like, if you're Southwest, maybe you just go, I'm not getting involved in this. Fine, we'll just say yes, deal with the 8 hours and move on. But also for church-state separation people, it's like, this is a federal judge with a lifetime seat who is just doing an egregiously wrong thing. It's infuriating.